Hello, how you doing? I want to address the police in relationships. I want to address the woman and the man who love to police each other. I'm talking about this because recently I met a guy who is just tired of being policed. And it's got to a point where the policing has caused him to resent his wife because he's being policed for things he has not done. But away from that, I've seen too many women, too many wives police their husbands in terms of calling him every hour. And the reason why she's calling him every hour is I've had one woman tell me, I call my husband almost every hour just to make sure that if he is somewhere sleeping with another woman, he's going to have to answer the phone. Do you know how stupid that sounds? I mean, it's as easy as just telling her, shh, wifey's calling. And I answer the phone. So what have you done? Nothing. Your policing is actually not working out the way you thought it would. And if you have to police somebody, it tells me a lot about where your relationship is at. It's not working well. You're not connected. And sometimes you need to look within and ask yourself, why is it that there's a disconnection? Because I need you to move away from the thought process that just because you're in a relationship, things are going to work out, or things are working out, or things have to work out because you have titles, you share titles. I don't know who schooled people to think just because you have titles, you're entitled to that person. You're not. And if you can look within, which applies to myself, I have to be in a position to say, I might be part of the problem. Because I have had couples call me for me to have therapy with them, and the complainant ends up being the problem when I profile the actual problem. When I profile the main issues, then I'm in a place to say that you are the problem. Yes, you called me, but you gave me a lot of information that made your other partner look bad. Yet, now that we've deduced the truth, you're the problem. And sometimes when people have that maturity, they're in a place to actually say, you know what, I've realized I'm the problem. I'm the reason why we're having these problems. And if you're not in a place to be able to look within, then there's a problem. I always tell couples, if you are in that stalemate, one of the things you need to do is sit down and have that very difficult conversation of asking each other questions like, am I still attracted to you? And if I am, what are the things I still find attractive? And if I'm not, what are the things that I don't like about you today? And I'm able to actually jot down 5 things, and they jot down 5 things. We then exchange, and we go through them one by one. We go through them in a civil manner, in a mature manner. The people who get a list of the things that the other person does not like about them, and they get irritated, tell me a lot about them. They tell me, one, they're not mature enough to be in a relationship. They're just not. You cannot be in a relationship if you're not willing to accept that you are part of the problem or could be the main problem itself. Yet you're the complainant. So all I'm saying is, stop policing each other, because somebody needs to want to be home. They don't need to feel they have to be home. There's a difference. If you're policing your partner, it doesn't mean you're having a functional relationship. It doesn't. If anything, it tells me the opposite. It tells me that you guys are disconnected, and we need to find out at what point did you disconnect. And sometimes when I've had sessions with couples, I've been able to go back to their foundation, and their foundation tells me a lot about why they're in problems now. And they could be in problems 2 years into the marriage or relationship, 5 years, 10 years. But there's always something that identifies where the problem began. I'm good at that. I'm very good at profiling couples. What I'm not good at is not telling you the truth. I tell you the truth. I've been in a position where I've actually told a couple that the worst thing that ever happened is that you met. And funny enough, one of them already knew that, But they were in denial because we're always in this process where we feel that because we've invested, we can't get out. Because we've invested, you're obligated to the bullshit and the misery that you are currently facing, and you're going to have to face it for the rest of your life. That's not life. That's suffocation. That's self-inflicted torture and punishment. Why would you do that? Things start well, and sometimes they don't end well at all. And sometimes they end well in regards to you come to an understanding and say, you know what? When we started, it was good. You know, it lasted when it did. But right now, I don't think we have the avenue of moving forward. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. Because therapy is not about superglue. Therapy is not about telling the man that, you know what, if you better this and better that, things will work better, and telling the woman the same. That's not how these things work. I've met plenty of couples who, for a long time, one of them psychologically checked out for a very long time. You cannot force that person to fall in love again. You can't. You just can't. Things don't work that way. Have there been couples who, at the end of the day, they found a way to move forward, and today they're having a very blissful relationship, much better than they ever had? Yes. But that is not the eventuality for everyone. Sometimes your foundation, like I said, can tell me a lot about the fact that how you started the relationship is why you're having all these problems, or why you've had problems for a very long time. It's like couples who think that arguing almost every day or every week is actually a sign of love. No, it's actually a sign of problems. And those problems will emotionally damage you, whether it's emotional or physical, because there are couples who get physical, and you should have left that environment a long time ago. But many of you are in these relationships because of societal pressures, because of your parents, because of your friends, because of your relatives, or because you have this pressure that if I leave, I look like the loser, I look like I failed. I'd rather you failed, but you are alive. I'd rather you failed, but you are at peace and you're alone, rather than telling me that I've been in a marriage for 23 years and only 2 of those years were good. The rest have been a nightmare. The rest, I've been in a horror movie. Why would you want to put yourself in that kind of situation? I've had couples who, in public, they look amazing. You know, they're the couple goals kind of perception that they give people. But they're literally miserable when they're at home, when no one else is seeing how they behave. But in public, they're holding hands. You know, they're almost kissing to some extent. You're seeing passion that's not real because, you know, they have to keep up with the Joneses. They have to keep up appearances. They have to keep up this measure of we cannot fail because we've accomplished so many other things. So our relationship cannot be the one thing that fails. That is hogwash. That is very unfortunate. But there are a lot of people living that. So all I'm saying is stop policing each other. Stop tapping each other's phones. Yes, stop going through your people's phones. If you go through somebody's phone, you're going to find exactly what you want. And guess what? When you find it, what are you going to do? Yes, she slept with that guy. What are you going to do? Yes, he slept with that woman. What are you going to do? What's next? Yeah, you found the truth. Made you feel better? No. Made you feel bad? Yes. Are you annoyed? Yes. Are you leaving? No. Why aren't you leaving? And if you leave, one of your friends is probably going to say, no, that's the wrong move. Don't leave, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, when you met your partner, and that's what I was saying about your foundation, when you met your partner, you knew that the social arena was important. You knew that there was a probability that they could hook up with somebody else because you were that hookup once upon a time. Things just graduated and you got married, but it does not mean that certain traits died. You have to look at that, and most people don't. So I'm in a position to help you if you'd like to be helped. But again, stop policing each other. It's not worth it. Let somebody be in your space because they want to be in your space, not because they need to be in your space. And that's why even when that person is in the house, you're not cordial, you're not talking. And if you're talking about, it's almost like you're a corporate entity. You're talking about responsibilities, you're talking about the kids, you're talking about bills, you're talking about projects, you're talking about who didn't pay this and who didn't call mom and this Christmas, where are we going? It's irritating conversation. And that's why you're detached to one another. That's why he prefers his friends or being somewhere else. That's why from work, one of you has to pass somewhere, either have whiskey or have a glass of wine, because you need to digest the fact that you're going into a home where the energy is not right for you. Why would you live under such conditions? So again, stop policing one another. It's not worth it. It's better to sit down and have a very deep conversation and monitor what is it that I do not like, and don't force somebody to change. Human beings, especially adults, are set in their ways. I'm not going to change because you've told me to change. I'm going to behave in a manner that's going to suit you if that manner is viable to me, if that makes me happy. But if I do it to make you happy, it still leaves me unhappy, which means we've not solved any problem at all. So guys, stop policing each other. And if you need a mediator, call me. I will tell you the truth. You might not like it, but I will. After maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions, it depends. Every couple is very different because your dynamic is different. So I have to gauge how much time we have to assess and quantify whether you guys have a future or not. So if you want to reach out, please do. Take care. Bye.